It's time for Aki's A-List. From the mind of the man who understands the 4 P's of Waddle's world. Aki's A-List. The top questions and topics floating around in Tyler Aki's mind.
Are these really the questions that I was called here to answer?
Aki's A-List on ESPN Chicago.
All right, Aki's A-List every day. And then if you miss it every day, it will be up on our YouTube channel, our page. Brand new. Subscribe there. It's youtube.com/@Waddle and Silvy. What do you got, Tyler?
All right, there was a good article on CBS Sports talking about a projection for 6 new playoff teams for 2024. And there were only 2 out of the NFC. I'll give you a spoiler here. Neither of them were the Chicago Bears. So I ask you, these 2 teams in the NFC were the Atlanta Falcons and the Seattle Seahawks. Do the Bears have a better or worse chance of making the playoffs than the Falcons and the Seahawks?
I think the Falcons live in a more friendly division. I think it's easier to win the NFC South than it is the NFC North.
I still think the Bears have a good chance to get in, and I think they have, to answer your question directly, they have a better chance than the Seahawks. Like, don't dismiss Pete Carroll just getting up and not coaching that team and them being better.
Yeah.
He's not like Bill Belichick, where he was fading at the end. Pete Carroll is still a great coach.
I would give the Falcons a slight edge because of where they reside, but I would agree. I would probably give the Bears every bit as much of a chance, if not more, than the Seahawks.
All right, moving to some baseball.
Because, by the way, again, like the Rams are a pretty good football team. And obviously the 49ers are in that division too. But the Rams are a pretty good football team. All right.
Yeah, like I would say it would be more what would be more shocking, if the Seahawks won their division or if the Bears won theirs?
It would be, for me, it'd be the Seahawks won the division because I think the 49ers are better than anything in the NFC North.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that as well. All right. Getting into some baseball stuff. The Cubs swept the Rockies. They're now 4-2 on the season. But I ask you, can you take anything away from that Rockies series, or is it just the Rockies?
Oh, there's always something you could take away. Like, you still, like, I do not like dismissing any sort of win, no matter how bad the team a team is. Your team came back from that Texas series and still had to perform in miserable conditions. They still had to hit the baseball in really bad conditions, and they still scored a lot of runs. So Ben Brown, you take what Ben Brown did yesterday after his quick call-up, after he didn't perform in Texas. You take Seiya's quick start, even though he's been off to a quick start the last couple of years. I need to see him sustain it. Morel in the field has been a tough work in progress. I've said this before, I am not pulling him out of third base. A lot of people want to end the experiment. I need him to continue to get reps. You cannot end that experiment right yet. Absolutely not. So
I think the continued progress you've seen, if you build on what you saw in the back end of last year and what's happened early this year, Seiya's got an opportunity, I think, to really be one of the better hitters in the National League if he could stay healthy and
take that next step. Like, this is his third year.
Yes.
He's been a good player at times. And maybe he can really become a very good player, an all-star level player.
I think he's got a high ceiling, especially at the dish.
So I was going to ask you next, when we look back on this season, will Seiya Suzuki be the guy that we say, yep, that was the Cubs' best player? You think about last year, you could go either way with Cody Bellinger or Justin Steele. They both had fantastic seasons.
My answer is yes.
But with Seiya Suzuki, will we look back and say he was the Cubs' best player this year?
I think so.
I hope it's a better debate, and this isn't against Seiya, just because I think Morel has a dynamic bat. Cody Bellinger, we know what he can do carrying a team at times. So I still think there are other guys who can at times be great players for the Cubs. They still don't have like that one like awesome player, that one superstar level player, but I still think they have guys who are like 4 or 5 guys who can be very good.
All right, the Oakland A's announced today that they will be playing in Sacramento for at least 3 seasons from 2025 through 2027. There's a lot of things going on with the A's. First of all, it's moving to a park that has 10,000 seats plus another 4,000 that you can fit on the berm. And then on top of that, John Fisher, their owner, came out today, held a press conference, and one of the things he said was he can't wait to watch the MLB's top stars like Aaron Judge hit home runs there. So he wants to see an opposing player hit home runs against his team.
So
on
weird.
top of that, have you guys seen what's been going on with this wristband gate?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
So,
About the
Esther
players
Ruiz.
supporting the city?
So there is this website account called Last Dive Bar that has been a staunchly anti-ownership organization, and a few players have been wearing these Last Dive Bar wristbands, like the rubber wristbands, and there's
A's
been
players.
A's players, yeah, and there's been a trend of these guys getting traded, benched, or sent down, even though some of them have been playing really well, like what Meller just said, Esther Ruiz. Is John Fisher the worst owner in all of sports right now?
No.
Who is?
I
Does he own 2 teams?
no. Boy, I know
I
where you're
rest my
going,
case.
but I still think that this guy's.
Yeah.
I think this guy's.
Yeah,
a
he's
step
pretty.
below.
He's pretty bad.
Yeah, I think he's still a step below. They're playing in a minor league stadium,
And they're not going to fill it.
and they're not going to fill it.
There's no chance they're going to
No.
fill it.
I will say this, though. They've probably been to the postseason significantly more times than the team on the south side has over the last 20 years, right?
Yeah, they eliminated the White Sox in the COVID year, didn't
Yeah.
they?
Yes.
I believe so.
Do you
they
remember
did.
that? Like
Yeah.
that wasn't that long ago.
Liam Hendricks was pitching for the A's back then.
Remember how good of that building sucks, you know?
Yes, the
But
Coliseum.
do you remember how good of an atmosphere it would be for some of those playoff games that they had?
Well, listen, the early 2000s, Billy Beane made them relevant with the way he absolutely reinvented the game.
Okay,
Obviously,
like
Moneyball.
Like in 2020, they went to the postseason in 2020, 2019, 2018, 2014, 2013, 2012, 2008. Was that 6? 2006, 2003, 2002, 2001, 2000. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They've been to the postseason 11 times since 2000.
Yeah, and
What have the White Sox done?
The White Sox went in 2000. They went in 2005.
World
they
Series,
went in
baby.
2008. That's 3. They went in 2000. They went from 08 till what year then? Was it 2020?
Right?
2008
Yeah.
through 2020.
And then
they went in
21
21.
with La Russa.
I still think the
Was
guys-
that 4? 4 or 5?
Yeah.
Is this a new owner for the A's? How long has he been their owner?
Not sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
They're playing in a minor league park. And Vegas
Wait.
told them a couple of months ago, stay in Oakland, we don't want you.
Yeah, that's why they're playing in a minor league
Right.
park, is because they told Oakland they couldn't get a stadium deal done in Oakland.
5 times for the
And so
White
they were
Sox
like,
since 2000.
So they're like they abruptly left for Vegas without having a stadium figured out there.
Makes you want to
times.
cry.
So he's been the full owner. He's gotten full ownership in 2016.
Yeah, so he's new, and the White Sox, like I said, under Jerry Reinsdorf, they have never won a playoff series except for the 2005 season.
That's crazy.
The only year the White Sox have ever won a playoff series was in 2005. Think about that.
As with Jerry as the owner?
That's in there. Well, I mean, because remember back in the day, even too, like you would just get to
Right.
The ALCS.
you would win the
Right.
pennant.
Right.
No, there was.
Yeah,
You would just win.
yeah, you'd have to win your division.
Not even a division. Remember before divisions too.
Yeah.
You win
Crazy.
the pennant.
Thanks for bringing us down, Tyler.
Real quick, one basketball one. Last night, Malachi Flynn from the Detroit Pistons dropped 50 points off the bench. I don't know if either of you have heard of Malachi Flynn before last night, but has 50-point games. Has it been watered down to this point in the NBA?
I had no idea who he was. No. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. The fact that he scored 50, I don't know.
Where did he play? It sounds like a Syracuse name.
No, he was San Diego State.
Oh, San Diego State.
I think you're thinking of
Johnny Flynn, yeah.
Johnny Flynn,
Syracuse.
okay. Was he a Minnesota Timberwolf?
Yeah, he was drafted before Steph Curry.
Yep, he was one of the two guys.
Him and Rubio.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. At least you go to an NBA game, you're going to see something cool, most likely. I mean, what is the downside here? Is that anybody can score?
Yeah, that it's no
It's
longer
not an accomplishment anymore.
It doesn't have a huge
No, I still
significance.
think you score 50, you score 50.
Well, I will say this. You remember when Steph scored 60-some and everyone was just like, ho-hum. Maybe we're a little numb to it at this point, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
You score a half a hundo. I mean, come on.
It's interesting. He's averaging 5.3 points per game.
Yeah. So
is that
the fewest,
I wonder what.
It's
Caught a heater.
It's the lowest average of anyone that's scored 50 points in a game.
That's nuts.
So it is an accomplishment for a guy who's only scored 5 a game.
And the reason, Tyler, why I would say that it doesn't have me as concerned is because it's not happening all the time. This is like an out-of-the-box, this is an anomaly.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be too concerned.
Good. Very good questions. Aki's A-List every single day. And, again, you can go, if you missed any of it, to our YouTube page. Brand new. Make sure when you're there, you subscribe. It's youtube.com/@Waddle and Silvy. Don't forget, Would You Rather coming up in 15 minutes. Send us your Would You Rathers on Twitter. Send them to Meller and Tyler on Twitter. We've got Connie's Frozen Pizzas to give away. And also coming up next, what do we have next as
Great
well?
clips.
That's right.
30th moment.
Yes, something that we want to cut from our memory banks from the last 50 years. So that's coming up next. You could come out and see us. We're at Twin Peaks in Oak Brook Terrace. It's Waddle and Silvy.
This is Waddle and Silvy on ESPN Chicago, Chicago's home for sports.
White Sox and Royals, live from